Human rights group Amnesty International has accused the Nigerian military of committing war crimes during its fight against insurgency.
But in a swift reaction, the army says the watchdog's report lacks credibility. Oluwatosin Omogoye Samson tells us more.
For years, rights group, aid organizations, and journalists have documented military abuses with little resulting action from the Nigerian armed forces. This time, Amnesty's 89-page report, based on hundreds of interviews, has again accused the military of crimes against humanity, including torture, sexual violence, killing of civilians, and other abuses. The watchdog says the crimes were perpetrated for years and have continued despite the presidential inquiry last year, August, whose findings have not been made public. The report reveals that many of women were held for 6 months to 2 years without charge, some tortured and beaten, and some, along with 32 children, died, adding that many women are being forced to have sex in exchange for food and supplies.
You will see a soldier with food in his hands, and he will say, "If you like me, take this food." They would say, "Come with us," and we will think of our children crying for food. If you did accept the food, he will come back to have intercourse with you, and if you refuse, he will use force to rape you.
But the Nigerian military has described Amnesty's findings as false.
You can see that Amnesty is not even a serious organization. We are talking about something that happened in 2015, 2016, in 2018. These are some of the issues that were raised in 2015, 2016 that were addressed by the military high commands. And we are raising it again at this time. At the critical time where the military has almost finished or have a serious upper hand against the Boko Haram.
A statement from the presidency also said Amnesty's report lacks credibility. Nigeria has waged a 9-year war against Boko Haram and has fought alongside Cameroon, Chad, and Niger with support from the United States, Great Britain, and France. Oluwatosin Omogoye Samson, TVC News.
Our guest is in the studio. He's a human rights lawyer and he is Justice Uhuebu. Good morning and thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
Good morning. It is my pleasure.
Very troubling developments. According to the Amnesty International, the protector has become the predator.
Well, it's a case of the hunter not being the hunter, or the hunted not being the hunter. Let me put it that way, because it's so unfortunate. It's not just easy to come out and say the report is not true, or we are refuting the report. What do you have in alternative? Yeah. What are you showing Nigerians? If you want to debunk what Amnesty International have said, what are you showing Nigerians? And like the military spokesman said something. He said this is something that happened between 2015 and 2018. Yes, that is to tell you that they are doing an underground work. It took them time to release this report. And again, remember...
No, what he's even saying, his claim is, look, these are allegations of things that happened in 2015, 2016. And the Nigerian military has already addressed some of those issues.
But it's not true. How did they address it? That is the issue.
Yeah. Maybe they didn't make it public.
They never addressed anything. Remember that in August 2017,
yes,
a presidential panel was set up to investigate the compliance of the military within this territory.
Yes.
And the panel sat, and many women, news added that many people, women and all the rest, went to the panel and testified. That panel was submitted to the president in February 2018, the report. Up to today, nobody has known the outcome of that report. So what are we saying? Who is fooling who here? So if you want to debunk anything, make it public. Let people know. And you see some of these things.
President Buhari's aide, Garba Shehu, also came out to debunk that claim by Amnesty International, saying that it's spurious allegations.
Where is the report of the panel that was set up? The panel went there, they had hearing, they listened to people, especially women, because most of the allegations there is the allegation of, forced sex abuse,
and sex
rape.
For food.
Sex for food, because however you look at it, rape is, because by definition of rape, once there is no consent, it is rape. Once there is any inducement, whether by force or inducement by one means or the other, it is rape, provided there is no consent. So we should be holistic about some of these things.
But what do you make of it when Amnesty International comes up with these allegations and the federal government and of course the military say, look, this is a distraction, this is an attempt to discourage and demoralize the soldiers who are at the forefront of this war against Boko Haram? Exactly what is the end game for Amnesty International? Is it just to draw the attention of the authorities so that this can be checked, if not stopped entirely? Or is it really to demoralize the soldiers?
If the vice president, then acting in August 2017, do not see it wise or do not believe that the military, no matter the operation, should or supposed to comply with the human rights procedures, he wouldn't have set up that panel.
Yes.
So setting up that panel is also an addendum to show that despite, let me tell you, you see, we have rights. Do you know we have animal rights? Do you know you don't just kill an animal?
Yeah.
Is it because we're in this part of the country? There are procedures. Before you kill a malu,
a cow.
A cow. There are procedures. And if you don't follow that procedure, you are committing a crime. So if we have animal rights, then compare it to human rights. You understand me? So it is not a matter of it is distraction. No. If you go to the military now, the police and everywhere, there is a human rights section or human rights department. You know why? Because without laws, human beings are the worst animal. If you don't guide them, you need to go out there and see what people are facing on a daily basis. When people wear uniform, they feel on top of the world. They feel they are God. So if you don't put all these things to checkmate them, they will, in fact, they will be behaving like animals.
But Amnesty International released the report in 2015, also in 2016, as well as last year, and now it's coming out with this report. And of course, officials of the military and even the government are saying that some of the points pointed out were raised before. And that was why she was asking about the end game. Because many are saying that there is even more to Amnesty International's reports than meets the eye.
You see, Amnesty International is not a political organization. If it were in Nigeria now, they will not say it is political or it's being engineered by one opposition party or the other. But the answer is no. It is not true. It is not only Nigeria that Amnesty International is investigating. So they've been coming out with reports. All this why. So it's not only Nigeria. Why are we saying? You see, the problem we have in this country, we always try to shield or defend ourselves, playing, a blame game. Amnesty International, by right, they are not even supposed to, by all ramification, go to this extent releasing this report. But what happened is this: they have their investigators, reporters, everywhere. 2015, 2016, they were releasing some of these things, challenging Nigerian government. And it seems nothing is being done. Nothing is happening.
But if you say that Amnesty International has its reporters on ground, people who actually give them first-hand information, the Nigerian military is saying these allegations are totally unfounded, cannot even be traced. If you wanted to investigate these allegations, there's no concrete evidence that you can actually use to begin the process of investigating. And then you want to, some analysts have said, look, the basis of Amnesty International's, reports and all of that is really based on what they watch on television, on, what they read from the newspapers, claims, for example, like the T.Y. Danjuma's claims and what have you, that it is on the basis of that the Amnesty International comes out with its report.
Well, that is a claim for some people. But Amnesty International are telling you that they have one-on-one interaction with some of these people, especially the women. And they showed some footage, which actually they tried to hide the face for security reasons and all the rest. I keep on asking a question. A panel was set up, and the panel met. People testified before the panel. Where is that report? In fact, is it bad for the Nigerian government to have made that panel a public one? Even if you don't want to show the faces of those people, at least let people hear. You see, let me tell you, we are in the era of globalization, where whether you like it or not, information must leak. And that is why, if you look at the Freedom of Information Act, which was one of the laws Jonathan administration signed when he came in, he says every information is key, no matter how that information is gotten. Inadmissibility of evidence in law, the Supreme Court said that any document, provided it is relevant to a fact in issue, will be admissible. He went further to say, even if it was stolen. So the issue there is the relevancy of that particular document. So how you now source it becomes immaterial. What I'm trying to say here now is,
which is part of the question that the government is asking: what are your sources?
Yeah, well, Amnesty International said that it's a result of an extensive investigation involving more than 250 interviews and covers satellite camps established by the military in 7 towns in Borno State, including Bama, Banki, Ran, and Dikwa, and it includes other interviews of about 48 women.
You see, these things are very simple. If we actually want to debunk this and be realistic on what I keep on calling sincerity of purpose, it is very easy. What are we hiding? Because let me tell you, what are we hiding? The world is a global village. There's no two ways about it. People will still know. And let me tell you, if people are not meant to face issues for their misconduct, such things will continue.
Impunity.
Whether you like it or not. And this is one of the reasons. You see, if you go outside the shores of this country, let me tell you, we are in this country. Some of us were in the street as human rights lawyers. We interact with people every day. Just go outside and see what is happening by our security agents and all the rights. So when Amnesty International comes up with such thing, okay, what you had wanted is, okay, go to the field, battle these people, there will be no check on you.
But really, how do you draw the line between protecting human rights and prosecuting the war against Boko Haram?
You see, when you say protecting, there are two different things.
Didn't they say there is, I mean, all is fair in love and war? Come to think of it.
But then these are victims of war.
Remember,
in camps.
These people are victims of war. They are not the Boko Haram members themselves. In fact, their report has it that many people are being detained, given the name that they are wives of Boko Haram and children of Boko Haram. First of all, that one is wrong. You're not supposed to detain them. Even if you have verified that they are wives of Boko Haram members. Simpliciter, the court have said that you cannot arrest A for an offense purportedly committed by B. It is not possible. And remember, most of these women have come out to say they were forced into marriage. When these people invaded their communities and captured their communities, their husbands ran away. Some of them, their husbands were killed, and they were adopted by these men and forced to marry them. And the same people that are supposed to need protection from you, you are not detaining them and their children in the name that they are Boko Haram wives and all the rest. Is it fair?
So it's
Does
the
it
same
conform
case
with the human rights?
Exactly. It's still the same case of the Nigerian army conforming with human rights, their human rights obligation on one side, and then rules of engagement when they go for this kind of missions.
That's what I'm trying to say. So I wouldn't know the law they're operating with. Their mandate is go there and fight Boko Haram members. It's a different thing if you now tell Nigerians there are some females that are Boko Haram members under our detention. They are different. Yeah,
but you recall the Amnesty International in the past has not limited its reports on IDP camps. So, you know, detainees, not detainees, but women in the IDP camps. They've even said in the war against Boko Haram that the Nigerian army has had a tendency to flout human rights. And that's why I asked that initial question. But then again, what are your thoughts concerning this claim by the military that they had foreknowledge, they had some kind of intel that the Amnesty International was going to come out with this damning report.
Initially.
Initially, yes.
Which is preemptive. When you had that, what did you do? Well, I think we are told that the best form of defense is what?
Is that attack, yeah?
So why are you still sitting on defense? If you perceive that what they are going to come out with is not true. Remember, when we even talk about human rights violation, this one is just because women are more involved.
Yeah.
Remember,
unfortunately, women are usually at the receiving end.
They are usually at the receiving end. There have been allegations that wherever the military they go for one operation or the other, there are a lot of human rights violations.
Not just in Nigeria, really.
Not just in Nigeria. Everywhere. It's not only in Nigeria. But the problem is that we are now seeing that, you know, it is much in our area here in this country. Maybe because of our reasoning or training or whatever. If you remember the Operation Python dance in the East, many people's rights were violated. Have we forgotten the Operation Python dance in the East, in the southeast of Nigeria, and all the rest?
In attempts to
reports
check
came out and all the rest.
Kanu.
Have you also forgotten the report of the Amnesty about what happened in Onitsha? That civilians were killed and all the rest. So what are we talking about? Nobody is talking about all these things.
Even the recent one where soldiers were said to have burnt some buildings in the
So this, whether we like it or not, whatever you see, that is why we keep on saying, whether you're fighting corruption, whether you're fighting insurgency, whether you're building the nation, you must do it within the ambit of the rule of law. And anybody caught that is going contrary should face the wrath of the
How
law.
does this make Nigeria look, really? You recall during President Buhari's visit to Donald Trump, the U.S. president recently, he actually affirmed Nigeria's commitment to the principles of the protection of human rights and the promotion and protection of people's freedom, even in the fight against terror.
Yes, that is what he's supposed to say. And that's actually, by implication, is what it's supposed to be. But the question is this, in practice, is it that way? Is it like that? If you're doing that, come out with footages, come out with reports, come out with significant things. You see, I don't believe in paperwork. I don't believe in all this media,
but then in the military, you know, set up some form of disciplinary board kind of.
What has been the outcome?
To try some.
According to them, they have some have been dismissed.
That's what I'm trying to say. What have been the outcome? Some of them that have been dismissed. You see, let me tell you one thing. If we want to get things right in this country, we must always carry the people along. It's not just coming out to tell us some people have been dismissed. Why were they dismissed? How were they dismissed? What were the counts against them? What were the offenses? What were their defenses? And all the rest. Nigerians must know. That is what we call transparency, whether we like it or not.
All right. Justice Huebu, human rights lawyer, thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Thank you
very much.